G'day guys, welcome back to the farm on Farming Simulator 22, the Start From Scratch series. So we're just checking up on the sheep there, they look very healthy. Got plenty of lettuce growing from both of our greenhouses. And we're just going to jump on over here and just check on our spinnery and our clothes production. So the spinnery has a little bit of wool to process, and the clothes production, we have one pallet available and hardly anything inside, but it is October, and in the previous episode we purchased this cotton field which is now ready to harvest, I believe. Yes, it is. So we're going to need to hire ourselves a harvester for that because it has its own, and in the used machinery there's not really anything that we need today. So we go into here and cotton harvesters, the case, lease that for 24,700. So let's get on down to the store and get harvesting our cotton. So here we are in the case. We go for the case and not the John Deere because the John Deere is pretty much twice the price, and this is the only time we're probably going to do cotton for quite a while yet. So there's no point spending double the amount of money when we can just use the basic in-game cotton harvester. And as you can tell by the size of the machine, it's going to produce a massive bale of cotton for us. So I'm hoping that we can get a good bale out of this field that we've just purchased. Maybe a little bit more than that. Anything more than that's a bonus for us because it goes straight into the clothing factory. Well, here we are up at the field. There's a massive piece of machinery to try and get up these narrow roads, but we got here in the end. We had to let a bit of traffic pass by, but we are here. So I guess we just need to unfold the baler, or the cotton harvester as it is, not really a baler. Unfold this and begin to harvest, and we'll just see how much it's going to take for us to make one bale. So it should be a fairly quick job, 10 kilometers an hour. Looks like it's filling up fairly slowly actually, which is good news because that means that we'll get a lot more out of the field. Anything that we get is a bonus. We want to make the most of it though, so as much as possible is going to be good. And this is going to feed the spinnery for probably a year, I would say, maybe more. And that's going to just turn into good money. So every year when the time comes that we can sell the clothing, that's just going to be making us rich. And we'll keep the sheep as well, but I might just keep their stuff stacking up until the cottons run out. Well, we'll have to see how that goes, because if it starts taking up too much space on the farmyard, then we'll just put it into the spinnery. But I think it would be a good idea to just let the cotton do its thing, and then we can fill it back up with wool from the sheep. So the plan is for me to go around and do a headland or two using this harvester, and then we'll just be going up and down, and we'll see what happens when a bale decides to pop out of the harvester. So shouldn't take us too long. Will be a fairly slow job, I suppose. So just while that harvester runs around the field, I've decided I'm going to bring the trailer over here ready for a bale. I'm hoping I can use the telehandler to lift the bale onto this trailer. It is going to be a massive bale though, so we will have to see how that works out. I know there is a bale loader specifically for cotton, but if we can get away with not renting that, then we will use the telehandler. And while that worker keeps running around in the cotton harvester, we need to go and set up for mowing the lawns. We've got a bit of silage that needs to be produced. So we're getting to a stage now where there is multiple jobs to do almost every day. There's almost something to do every day, and some days there's multiple things. So we can't neglect having to cut all the grass, because that's one of our main sources of income. Now you can see all this hay on the floor here is from a previous time when I was playing, and I was trying to put straw into the animal shed, into the cow shed, but my feed mix was in the way, and it was just throwing it straight into my feed mixer, which had some silage and straw, and now it's just decided to leave me a whole load of hay. So I'm gonna have to jump into the telehandler at some point, and I'll scoop that into a trailer, and we'll either feed it to the sheep, or I'll just take it down to the animal shop to sell as feed. But we'll just do a quick outline of this field with the mowers, and then we can put this onto another worker, and we'll get back towards the cotton harvest, because that's the main priority for the day. The grass can pretty much take a day or two if we really have to, but I will get it all done in one day. No point dragging it out for two, but this is the final cut for the year. Grass won't grow again now until March, I think it is, maybe late February. So I'll do a couple of headlands again with the mowers, and then I will get a worker to continue, and I will set myself up and get the windrowing done as well, and then we'll get back towards the cotton harvest. Okay, so we've got a worker finishing up the rest of the mowing for us, and we're jumping on to the windrower. We'll do a few rows with the windrow, and again we'll get it onto another worker. And we've got a fair bit of machinery on the go today. We've got the two tractors and the cotton harvester as well. The telehandler's out as well. The only thing we don't have is our own harvester out working, but that time will come. Not in October though, but we are getting up there towards being busy. We've come a long way on the farm. We started with absolutely nothing, just mowing a very small field up where our sheep and clothes production is. And now we've expanded to having, well, I think we've got 3 fields now. We don't really have a great deal of machinery, but we are slowly getting there. And the clothing's definitely going to be funding a lot more machinery and land and productions, so it really has become a turning point now, where we are going to be not struggling for cash at all, and we can start to pick and choose the jobs that we want to do. Pretty much the whole way through has just been relying on silage and the chickens for their eggs. Now, we were selling the sheep wool, but that is worth peanuts compared to what we're going to be getting from the clothing. But now we can start relying on the clothes for as long as the cotton will last, and then we'll be back to struggling to get enough to keep the clothing factory going, because the spinnery does take a little while to process all of the wool, and the sheep also take a long time to produce the wool that they give us. Okay, we're back in the harvester, so we are getting up there now. We're 80-something% full, so we've done just about half of the field. So if we can get 2 bales out of this, I think it will be more like a bale and maybe 60-70% of a second bale at this rate, which isn't too bad. I mean, they're big bales, like 20,000 litres a piece. So if we get a bale and a half out of this, then I'll be quite happy with that, because that will feed the spinnery for a very long time. I just hope the spinnery can keep up producing things fast enough to keep the clothing factory going, and then pretty much don't have to worry about money again. So we're getting up there, nearly a full bale. Like I say, I'm going to try and use a telehandler to move it, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to work out how I've got planned, but we'll just have to see how that goes. So we'll just keep plodding along with this harvest. Okay, so there we go, 100%. Let's just take a look. So we press Y to unload and see what comes out. This is the first time I've ever done cotton, and that is a massive whoa, that is massive. I don't know if my telehandler is going to be able to move that, but the good news is that we are only halfway through the field, so we might end up with a second bale like that. So let's just get this all folded back up. Right, they really crammed that into the machine there. But we'll jump into the telehandler. We'll leave a worker to carry on making his way through the field with the cotton. And we're going to see if we can maybe chuck this onto the trailer. And if that doesn't work out, then I suppose we're going to have to lease the bale loading trailer that comes for cotton. You can see our trees here are starting to grow as well, plenty of those, so there's going to be another source of income in the near future. There's heaps of trees down on the bottom of the field there as well. So we don't have a bale spike, we're just trying to use the pallet fork here to move this. Okay, we've got a grip on it. Well, that's good, that's promising. I'm surprised the telehandler can lift this up actually. This must weigh quite a considerable amount. It's also going to take up most of this trailer. So hopefully we don't roll the telehandler here. A little bit dangerous. We're on a bit of a slope here, so it's not going to be the easiest maneuver. But I'm very surprised that we've lifted that. And that's going to save us a little bit of cash with the leasing of the bale loader. And there's a local gangster riding his bike out the road there. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that too much. Okay, we've got a worker completed a task. Must be probably something to do with the lawns. Okay, the strops don't go over the top, they go underneath. That's alright though. Whatever works for me. I'm pretty happy with that. Saved us a little bit of cash. Just as well, because we don't have a great deal in the bank until we actually get this to use. Okay, everybody's done their part for us. We've still got the guy in the cotton harvester running around the field for us, but just in the meantime I'm going to have to do the baling. Can't get a worker to do the baling for us because the game isn't programmed for that at this stage, and I don't know how to use courseplay, so I have to do the baling myself. Okay, just finishing up here with the bales. Plenty of silage again for us, which is good stuff. It's a guaranteed income. Some of this might have to go towards the cows just to keep them going, but it's also important that we use it as a means of an income because we don't really have much else at the moment. We do have milk and eggs, but silage is kind of just a solid staple for us. It keeps us going 2 or 3 times a year, so it's definitely worth us doing. But we need to get back over to the harvest. Okay, we're pretty much finished with the cotton harvest, 80% full, and we still have a little bit of tidying up to do after this row, so that's good stuff. Hopefully we can unload this bale on the field, because if we have to return the machine, then that means we're going to lose this 82% of cotton. We don't want to lose it. If we can't unload it, we're going to be a little bit screwed, to be honest. So really hoping that we can empty this out. So we'll just tidy up the rest of this field and see what happens at that point. Okay, all done. So 82% of a bale. Let's get this unloaded. Great that we can actually unload. As I said, I didn't want to lose that because this is 82% of a bale is worth probably $100,000 to us right now, so we definitely don't want to be losing that. And we can return you, so you go back, no more costs for that, no more hourly fees, and we're in the telehandler to get down there and try and throw that onto the machine. So I think all up we've got about 36,000 litres of cotton. That is a massive amount for us. That's going to feed the spinnery for so long. I could kind of sell the sheep pasture, to be honest, and just live off this cotton for a little while, and then when that's done we would have grown quite a lot by then. So let's take the trailer off. Now we've done it before, so let's see if we can pick up this bale as well. It's slightly smaller than the last one, so it should in theory be a little bit easier. Let's just have a little look, see what happens. Try and pick it up a little bit lower down this time. Oh, doesn't seem to be, the forks aren't going in. Okay, why are we rolling? Come on, play nice. I could try and get underneath it. Now I am a little bit stubborn, so I'm not going to just give up on this. I do not want to have to go and spend money to hire the bale loader, the cotton bale loader, so I am going to persevere. Hopefully it's just on the wrong angle or whatever. Oh no, we don't want to push that trailer over. Okay, we're going to have to bring it back towards the telehandler. Flip it back over towards me if we can. No, this is getting a bit tricky. The forks don't want to go into this one at all. I don't know why. Like I said, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to make sure that I can pick this up with this telehandler. We will get it on the trailer somehow. So let me just figure out what we're going to do. Maybe we might have to hook up to this if we can. And then we can drive just to flatten out the trailer again. We don't want to drag that bale all the way up to our field. We're not too far away from it though, so worst case scenario we could try. We will get this onto the trailer. One more go, there we go. Okay. Could do with a bit of weight on the back. Have one more attempt. Pick that up, please. Okay. We're gonna have to figure out something here. We're gonna have to try and get some extra weight onto the back of the machine, or flip this bale over. Whatever's going to work, but we will get there in the end. Well, we got there in the end with it. Jesus Christ, took me like 5-10 minutes to do that, and it wasn't easy, but we got it. ended up going on, well, once we got it on the forks, but it just didn't want to go on for some reason. I had to flip it over about 4 times, and it pretty much ended up back how it was previously, but we managed to pick it up. So we need to head on up to the spinnery to drop the bales off. Okay, we're up here, just slowly getting up that hill. It's a bit of a tough climb. Not surprised though, there's a lot of weight on this trailer. Probably should have used a tractor to carry these up, but we are here now. It looks like this grass up here could do with a cut as well. So let's see if this cotton is just going to be taken straight in for processing off the trailer. Hopefully we don't have to unload it. And these trailers are a mission to reverse because of the dolly. So I don't want to be getting stuck on any corners like that. Come on. I think we're stuck on the building again. So hopefully that'll be, yes it was, taken straight in for processing. Now we need to figure out how we're going to get this one on the back to do the same. So we'll just have a quick look inside to see that it has actually registered. So clothing is on storing. So spinnery, yes. So 16,500 litres of cotton so far. Get that activated. 5 cotton produced 3 fabric, so that's not a bad ratio. And now we're on 36,000 litres of cotton, so we should produce quite a considerable amount of clothing out of that. So that's good progress. So we're definitely going to have a lot more clothing to sell in, I believe it's May when we sell clothing, so there's going to be a fair decent income there. Well, it's been a big day on the farm so far. The cotton harvest has taken us pretty much the whole morning. It took us from 8 until 2 to get that all sorted out. But we need to head on down to the farm shop now so we can get rid of these bales and get a bit of income back into the farm. Well, here we are at the farm shop. Just get rid of these bales, and the cost of these will more or less cover the cost of the cotton harvester that we had to hire for the day. It was about 25,000 I think to hire that, so this should probably cover quite a lot of that cost. 14,500, so covered quite a lot of the cost, but the cotton itself is going to give us a lot more cash. So thinking ahead, sunflowers is probably what I'm going to go with in our new field now that we've harvested that cotton. So we can't plant that until March, which means we have all that time now to prep this field. And it looks like we don't need to do any ploughing, which is really good news because that would be a massive job. And it doesn't look like we need to put any lime down either. So that is great news. 2 jobs that I don't really like to do, especially the ploughing, because that takes far too long, especially on a field that size. So I'm already thinking ahead about the next field that I want to purchase, and it's probably going to be that one in red there, number 20. So I'm hoping that the owner of that will get that ploughed for us. I don't think there's anything that we can plant and harvest in the meantime before we have to come to plant sunflowers. So I think it's just going to be a case of getting that field all prepped up, cultivated and ready to go for us to plant our sunflowers in early next year. And then next year we'll be buying the oils factory to process the sunflowers into oil. I'm just picking up the last few of our new silage bales, and these ones are going to be kept to one side now for feeding the cows. We don't really need to rush to sell anything at the moment. We will have obviously the winter sales coming soon. So we've got eggs, milk, lettuce, honey, all the good stuff that we need to sell early in the next year. Some of it actually gets sold this year in the next month or 2 I think. So we've still got plenty of money coming in, and then once we get that clothes processed from the cotton, that is going to be massive money for us next year and probably the year after as well. And also we'll be starting the oil production, so we will have quite a bit of cash coming in over the next couple of years. And we're also going to get started on the timber, the sawmill. We'll purchase that. We've got plenty of trees available to us to feed that for a little while, and then after we can afford it, we'll get the furniture factory as well. So we've got plenty of silage now. That'll keep the farm happy for a while. We will need to probably make some more hay over the next few months as well. So we'll just park up the bale loader over here next to the cows, and we'll just double check everything with the cows to make sure they're all happy. So what are we looking at? We need to give them a feed in the next day. They do seem to eat quite a lot. They eat about 10,000 litres per day. Well, it's per month, but every day in game. Running a little bit low on hay over there. So we're looking pretty good. All these trees around this field here will be what feed the carpentry when we get there. But I think we're in pretty good shape. So hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Just check the sails. I'm always checking the sails because there's always machinery in there that we need, but it's never there when I need it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. If there's anything you think I should be doing, leave a comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.